Sonic Movie and Equestria Girls Chapter 11, Deadly Newscast. Shadow was currently walking inside a room as it was revealed that he was helping the Mad Doctor prepare for the upcoming threat that they were about to announce for the whole world. Eggman was currently contacting Agent Stone as they prepared to launch a newscast that would send fear into the people in both dimensions.
Agent Stone, is everything ready?
We're good to go, sir. In a couple of hours, we'll have this broadcast sent across both worlds.
Very good, Agent Stone. You actually touched my heart for once.
Really?
I'm just messing with you, Agent Stone. If you knew me, I never show signs of weakness or affection to anyone and anything. Now then, prepare the newscast.
Doctor, what do you hope to accomplish? Why can't we just simply destroy the planet now since we have enough power to do so?
Shadow, my friend, if you want true satisfaction, then simply killing them won't do the trick. You first must instill fear and hopelessness to everyone on this planet. Speaking from experience, this is the best way to get your message across. Only then will you find true satisfaction with your prey. Besides, my Master Emerald is still with those annoying lower creatures. Perhaps doing this will force their hand to save this forsaken planet.
Shadow watched as the doctor sat down on his chair while smiling mischievously at the Black Hedgehog, who looked on in confusion.
Now then, my friend, won't you give me a hand and give me a little history about this so-called space colony arc?
Later the next morning with the Equestria Girls and Team Sonic.
Remind me what we are doing again?
Knuckles was surrounded by Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie as Twilight watched from the sidelines along with Tails. Spike could only bark in excitement as Tails could only explain to the Red Echidna one last time.
It's simple. I simply wanted to test out their magic abilities by making them use it against you, since I know you like challenges. Remember, Knuckles, you're just playing defense since we don't want any of the girls to get hurt by your strength.
Are you sure this is a good idea? I mean, I know you just want to see how the elements of harmony work and everything, but is it safe to use it against Knuckles?
Trust me, Knuckles could handle anything you throw at him.
Let's do this, you red space porcupine!
Then show me what you girls are made of.
Knuckles then got into his fighting stance as Applejack was the first to land on an attack, as she used her super strength to kick the Red Echidna, which was able to block with his fist. To aid in Applejack's assault, Pinkie Pie summoned a bunch of candy which had explosives on it, as Knuckles could only maneuver out of the way, leaving Applejack to deal with the assault.
Pinkie Pie? Oops, my bad!
Rarity summoned one of her diamond shields as she threw it towards the Red Echidna, who could only dodge it with ease before catching it. Applejack tried to come in with another sucker punch, as Knuckles then used Rarity's diamond shield to block the attack, before pushing her back with the shield. Luckily, this gave Rarity enough time to use her diamonds to surround Knuckles before closing it in on him, making him unable to move. This gave Pinkie Pie enough time to throw more explosives towards the Red Echidna. Knuckles then let out a scream of rage as red sparks surrounded him before he unleashed his power, blowing away the diamonds and explosives. Applejack throwing a huge boulder at him only for him to dodge it, sending the boulder towards Rarity, who blocked it using her diamond shield.
My bad.
It's just as I thought. Your moves are predictable and your lack of coordination with one another makes this battle seem like all three of you are fighting individually. If you girls want a better chance against me, then instead of you using your usual attacks, make yourself unpredictable so your opponent wouldn't easily find your weakness.
I didn't know Knuckles was this skilled.
Ever since birth, his tribe has trained him to prepare for any sort of combat against anything. He's way more experienced than me and Sonic when it comes to fighting hand-to-hand combat. But seeing how your magic works still amazes me. I didn't know such power like that could exist.
Pinkie Pie looked over to the other girls as they nodded as Pinkie used her explosives one more time, making the area covered in dust. Knuckles stayed on guard as he heard the sounds of diamonds surrounding him through the smoke. He saw a bunch of sharp diamonds heading his way. Knuckles immediately leaped up into the sky to dodge the attack as he turned around to see Applejack in front of him before he felt himself being kicked back to the ground.
Take that.
At least you girls made some type of improvement. Well done.
I think that's enough for now, guys. I think we've all seen enough. But I must admit, it's impressive how magic here seems to almost be on par with Sonic and Knuckles' power. I can't even wrap it around my head that magic such as this is real.
You get used to it too. It takes a while at first, but you'll manage.
Speaking of the blue hedgehog and the other speedster, where are they?
Last time I checked, Sunset is still pretty mad at both of them after what happened last night.
I hope she goes easy on those two. Then again, I just hope whatever happened didn't bring any unwanted attention.
Meanwhile, Sunset was leaning against the wall as she stared out the window. Telling from her expression, it was obvious she didn't get much sleep after the whole thing with Rainbow Dash and Sonic. A part of her was still upset with the Blue Hedgehog for what he did. However, another part of her felt guilty for yelling at him and leaving him there without hearing him out. Before she could contemplate on what she could do next, a voice was heard behind as she turned around to see Fluttershy.
Hey, Sunset?
Fluttershy, what are you doing here? I thought you were with the others.
I was about to until Twilight told me about what happened last night. I just came to check up on you.
Sunset Shimmer let out a depressing sigh as Fluttershy sat next to her while putting her hand on her shoulder.
Are you still upset with Sonic?
Of course I am. The stunt he pulled could have given out our location to Eggman and could have put us all in danger. Like always, he broke his promise and decided to do something like that.
But
I just can't help but feel awful for yelling at him. I know what he did was wrong, but I just can't help but feel bad for leaving him there like that.
especially since he's a naive kid who's still new to how other people work. Not only that, but I think we both know that was probably the only way Rainbow was gonna ever talk to him without giving him the cold shoulder.
Sunset Shimmer began to feel worse as Fluttershy soon regretted what she said.
Oh my, I'm sorry. I'm still working on that.
It's alright. I guess deep down, I just don't want him to carry such a burden for his mistakes. I know he's still young to this whole superhero thing, but he's reckless and arrogant, which could get himself or others killed. No kid deserves to carry that burden. He probably hates me now after I yelled at him. I wouldn't blame him if he did, since I keep getting mad at him.
Don't say that, Sunset. I'm sure he appreciates everything that you do for him. And I know deep down, he's sorry for what he did. When you're ready, I suggest you talk to him about this. Only then will you fix things with him and talk about what bothered you about him.
Sunset Shimmer smiled before wiping her tears.
I guess you're right. Thank you, Fluttershy.
Meanwhile, Sonic sat down on the couch while contemplating on what he should do for Sunset Shimmer to forgive him this time. He knew that giving her the space she needed would help her decide on things on her own. But knowing that he broke another promise he made to her felt like a punch to the gut.
What am I gonna do? I completely messed this up.
Hey, Sonic?
Sonic looked back to see Rainbow Dash as the speedster sat next to the blue hedgehog. She could tell just by looking at him that he felt guilty for what happened yesterday.
So, how are you holding up with Sunset?
I feel like crap for making her cry. I didn't get much sleep last night. I think this time she really hates me.
I wouldn't say that. Hate is a strong word, even for Sunset. Deep down, I think Sunset feels guilty for yelling at you.
How do you know?
It happened with Twilight when she kinda unleashed magic, which almost got people hurt during the friendship games. You should have seen the way she snapped and yelled at Twilight. Makes me of all people afraid when she snaps.
Tell me about it.
But at the end of the day, I know she feels bad for getting so mad at you when it was mostly my fault. I should be the one to blame, not you.
I guess we're both at fault for taking her off, huh?
But don't worry, little dude. When she's ready, she'll talk to you.
I hope you're right about that. Last thing I want is for something worse to happen.
Sonic's words would soon bite him as they heard something ring from the table in front of them. Rainbow Dash grabbed the phone as they saw something pop up. What happened next shocked them to their core. They weren't the only ones. As with the others, Tails was currently talking with Twilight until suddenly, Tails' device started to go off as he checked to see something pop up as the screen was shown all across the room. But it wasn't just him, as all across the world was covered with this broadcast, as everyone looked stunned to see who it was. Everyone in Canterlot received the same message as they looked on either their phones or the bright screen TVs, as the video showed a familiar scientist with a weird-looking mustache looking the other way before turning his attention back to the broadcast. Eggman has projected himself onto every television across the world.
Citizens of this dimensional Earth, lend me your ears. Listen very closely, you simple-minded creatures. My name is Dr. Ivo Robotnik, the world's greatest scientist. You may not know me because, well, after being transported here, I had one sole purpose, to conquer the multiverse using the Emerald's power. But since I don't have the Emerald, I want to show every world something that I have that will make you change your mind. Why I should have my power. Agent Stone?
Back in Sonic's dimension, Agent Stone used a machine that the Mad Doctor created, which opened a portal from outer space. From the portal, something large had entered their reality, as the whole world could see an asteroid crack from its lower half off, revealing a design reminiscent of Eggman's face. The nose area splits apart into 4 stems, at the center of which is the Eclipse Cannon. Everyone stared in horror at the size of the weapon that Robotnik had a hold of. The people back in Sonic's dimension could only look frightened, as they had received the same message too.
See this, Bat Baby? My grandpa made it for me so your grandparents could learn a thing or two about getting gifts. Even without the Emerald's power, this Bat Baby still has enough power to destroy whatever it pleases. Observe. Get a load of this.
Eggman simply snapped his fingers as the cannon then fired slowly as the 4 stems began to radiate an energy net, which the cannon launched straight through the sky at the moon. Its side is completely torn off, and fire can be seen inside. All around the world, there were screams and disbelief that such power could exist, as by his cities were now in a state of panic, with people running around while screaming.
Wow, what a light show we just witnessed. Am I right? Unfortunately, this baby takes around 48 hours to recharge. So sadly, I'll have to be patient. However, that doesn't mean this baby doesn't have any other weapons to destroy all of humanity. Now, I know you humans are already thinking of ways to negotiate with me, although I'm not one to agree to negotiate. There is something that I do need that would make me reconsider destroying this planet. I'm looking for a powerful object called the Master Emerald, which contains the source of ultimate power. If you bring it to me, then I'll reconsider destroying this pathetic planet. However, if anyone tries to stop me before then your planet is as good as dead. I'm giving you 48 hours to bring me the Emerald on the Space Colony Ark. Otherwise, kaboom!
A timer counting down from 48 hours appears on the televisions. When time runs out, the cannon will fire again, this time at Earth. All that was left was the sound of Robotnik's laughter, which covered the broadcast, which left most people screaming and running around in fear. The broadcast ended on Tails' device as everyone looked in shock after what they just witnessed, as they heard Sonic, Rainbow Dash, and Sunset come inside the room.
Sonic, did you see what he...
I know! What are we gonna do against that kind of power?
He just blew up half of the moon.
Can't you just use the Emerald's power like you did during your last fight with Robotnik?
I don't know how. Last time I just remembered it breaking, and then the Suffering Emeralds popping out, which made me transform. I basically transformed into the Golden God thing at the heat of the moment when I was about to die.
Then let's smash the emerald into smithereens!
Arguments soon then broke out, with everyone discussing with one another on what the next course of action they should take. However, that would soon change when the boys of Sunset Shimmer emerged from the chaos.
Everyone just stop what you're doing.
Everyone's attention was soon towards Sunset Shimmer as she took a deep breath of air before releasing it after what felt like an eternity.
I know what that mustache freak just pulled was terrifying, but we can't just go losing our hands and jumping to conclusions.
But you saw how massive that thing was. How are we going to be something like that?
I don't know. But what I do know is that Sonic and the others had beaten him before. What's to say that we can't beat him again?
Sonic watched as Sunset looked over as she reluctantly looked away, still angry, but yet feeling guilty for what happened yesterday. Although the blue hedgehog could see it in his eyes, he knew that talking about it now was pointless, since they had more important matters in their hands.
Sunset's right. As long as we stick together and form a plan, then we'll stop him.
But how?
Everything's got a weakness, even Robotnik.
An idea popped inside of Twilight's mind as she spoke.
I've got it. You said that he has this weird obsession with the emeralds. Am I correct? Which means that he'll do anything in his power to attain it. So that means if we were to give him a fake emerald that looks almost identical to the master emeralds,
He'll immediately take it thinking that the emerald is real, leaving himself wide open to attack.
But wouldn't that just anger him more? What's to say he won't just blow up the planet after that?
But doesn't he have cameras to watch our every move? How are we gonna split up without him knowing we're missing?
That's simple. Once we split up into separate teams, then he'll have too much to focus in on. Robotnik can't be at two places at the same time. And with my hacking skills, then he wouldn't know most of us would be at. His main attention would be with the emerald, not us. And if I use my holograms of everyone here, he'll think we're all at the same spot.
Once inside, we'll be able to tear the weapon from the inside out.
Alright then, I guess it's settled. We'll play Eggman's game for now. But we'll show him what we could do.
Yeah, let's kick this mustache freak's butt.
there's just one problem. How on earth are we going to get there?
Wait, I got it.
Tails then pulled out his device, showing a location around the world which showed a red dot.
When I was researching about potential locations where Eggman could be hiding, I stumbled upon information about a small spaceship that's still operational after it was abandoned for a few years. I might be able to get it running, but it'll take time to get there on foot.
There's got to be a way to get us there in time.
Actually, there is.
Sonic and Knuckles stared at the fox with curiosity as Tails could only laugh awkwardly.
So, remember that time when you and Knuckles wondered why I didn't catch much sleep, along with the noise coming from downstairs?
Where are you going with this?
I think it's best if I show all of you what I mean.
The others soon followed the young fox as they went down to his basement, as everyone was surprised at what they were seeing. Sonic and Rainbow Dash especially. What lay before them was no other than a small ship that contains enough seats for everyone. Without warning, Sonic quickly got himself inside while searching the whole ship.
This is easily one of the best things you've ever made, little buddy.
Well, when did you have the time to build this?
When you run out of things to make, you sort of just make things like this.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get this bad boy and fly this thing to the horizon!
I come dibs on the front seat.
Tails and the others immediately got on the ship as the yellow fox immediately got the ship running. As it flew upwards in the sky before it flew off in top speeds, with Sonic and the others holding on tight. Back with Eggman, Dr. Eggman was finishing his podcast as he turned the other way to see Shadow standing against a wall before he sat up and walked over to him before kneeling.
Doctor, what would you like me to do with Sonic and his friends if they don't comply?
Oh, I'm sure they will. But for now, I want you to capture someone from their group for me. During my time here, I discovered that she too comes from another world called Equestria, a world of magic which could even match the power of the emerald. I also know that she's close with that blue hedgehog. I need you to capture and bring her here. I've assigned you to interrogate her and force her to give us information we need. If she doesn't spill the beans, then, well, I'm sure you have your methods in getting people to break.
Shadow could only raise back up before nodding as he walked away, leaving the Mad Doctor to walk back over to his chair. As he sat back down, who looked down on the earth below him.
So, Hedgehog, let's see how you draw your cards against me.